H&R Block is once again coming out as a really strong contender for tax software in 2020. So if you're looking to file your 2019 taxes, you may be considering H&R Block. Its free version covers a variety of what we consider normal filing situations. So if you want to get a sneak peek of the H&R Block software for 2020, stick around. We have a complete review. Hey guys, welcome back to the College Investor, Investing and Personal Finance for Millennials. We're going to be jumping into H&R Block today, and it definitely rivals TurboTax in a lot of different areas. But the thing is, H&R Block definitely undercuts TurboTax on price. So if you are wavering between the two, you may consider H&R Block if you want to save a couple of bucks. In fact, let's go ahead and jump into the website and I'll show you the different pricing plans. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see there are 4 different options similar to TurboTax. You're going to have a free option, deluxe, premium, and self-employed. So if you want to stick with the free version, then you can do a W-2 import, which can save you a ton of time. If you qualify for the earned income tax credit, child care expenses, even student loan interest, and Social Security income is considered part of the free version. So I really like that because a ton of people normally have that student loan interest. So that's really nice. Otherwise, you may consider the deluxe and the premium. Note that if you choose to do any of these, or if you're self-employed, that you will have to pay additional for your state return. So it's $36.99 per state return on top of these other benefits that you might get. So with the deluxe edition, if you have a health savings account or a mortgage interest, you'll want to stick with this plan. Otherwise, the premium option also helps with things like rental property income, freelance contracting income with expenses less than $5,000, which may be a good fit for some folks. And then there is the self-employed online plan. So H&R Block's pricing tiers are about 15 to 20 bucks cheaper than what you would find on TurboTax. And also something interesting that I noticed while I was walking through the website is that they really are pushing people to go into a physical location and to work with a tax specialist at an H&R Block office. So keep in mind that you may see prompts for that as you're walking through their website or even starting to file your taxes online. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and jump inside of the tax software. I'll do a complete walkthrough with some dummy information to show you how easy it is to file your tax return with H&R Block. Okay, we are going to get started with the free online version of H&R Block. And it says right here, more forms for free than TurboTax. So I love that. 0 filing for federal and $0 for filing state. So let's go ahead and click to get started. You'll need to create an account and sign up with your email, username, and password. One thing to note, they do have 2-step verification, which is really nice. You'll want to set that up for extra protection. Okay, upon entering the dashboard, it looks like you can do some personalization, and there are a couple of different ways to share your tax return details. So I'll go ahead and click through and get the legal stuff out of the way. I like that. And then answer their questionnaire. Off the bat, their dashboard looks really nice. I like the simplicity of it. We've got a left-hand navigation menu here to show you where you're at. And the questions, I think, are going to be really straightforward. Okay, this is really nice, and of course you're going to expect this from one of the leading competitors in tax software. You can upload your last year's tax return, which can save you a lot of time from manually entering in the information. So it looks like you can just drag and drop last year's tax return into their dashboard and get started that way. I'll go ahead and skip the import, but this looks like a really handy feature to save you time. All right, so from the next step, it looks like we're inside of the federal return process. So starting with your personal information and then going into income deductions, other credits, and then doing a kind of a wrap up of your taxes. And then it looks like there is a state tab. So they'll use your federal return and transfer all of those details into your state return, which is really nice. And if we click over here to overview, we can see exactly where we leave off if we ever need to come back into the taxes, which I'm sure you'll do multiple times. So let's go ahead and continue with our federal return. We'll start from the beginning, right? And I'll go ahead and just put in dummy information to show you exactly what this looks like. Okay, this is really cool. So far, with your personal information, anyways, you can just kind of skate through the questions. And if you ever need to go back to something, it looks like you can go back to that section. So that's really nice. So far, this is a really simple, easy navigation to go through. Then we'll go into income and we'll start on our W-2. I really like this feature too. It looks like you can do this a couple of ways to import your W-2. You can either upload a PDF, take a picture, which is awesome, or enter it in manually. I'll go ahead and enter it in manually since this is dummy information, but this is something that I haven't seen in some of the other competitors, so this is a really handy feature. Okay, once we've added our W-2, it looks like we can just verify a couple of things. So this is interesting. I know that there may be some of you who have been involved with cryptocurrency. And it's interesting because you can see here they have this little help menu that helps you see if you've had virtual currency, whether or not you need to report it. So this is really nice. It's interesting that they ask about this up front. So if that's you, just know that there are some options for you if you bought, sold, invested in any Bitcoin, for example. And once you're done with your income, you'll move on to the deductions portion. Because I had contributions to a health savings account, they've already pooled that information from my W-2, so they'll go ahead and add it into the deductions. I'm assuming I'll probably have to review that, so I'll go ahead and click next. And then let's say you did have student loan interest. I'll go ahead and check that box. That one's pretty common for a lot of us filing our returns online. And it looks like you can upload that file as well. That's really, really nice. Such a time saver. I'll enter it manually for now, but the fact that you can upload files is just, it's so easy. It makes things really, really simple. And this is awesome. Once you complete a section, you'll see these refund reveal screens, and then you'll see if you'll get a potential federal refund. You can also see that number here on the left-hand menu as well. That's really nice. All right, if you need to ever revisit any of the forms, it looks like you can just click on revisit and then go back to that section. It looks like this form, the 8889, is not ready yet. Once it is, typically these forms are released in early to mid-January, and then you can go back in and fill in that information. Also, something that I just noticed here is the deductions. So the standard deduction is $12,200, and then once you get over that, it looks like you'll be into the itemized, where it would make more sense for you to itemize versus taking the standard. That's really cool. I hadn't seen that in any of the other tax software for this year, so this definitely sets H&R Block apart. And then it looks like they will recommend the standard deduction in this case, which I will go ahead and take since that's higher than the itemized deduction. Click next. And then take a look at the summary. If you're ever confused, just hit these question mark bubbles and then you'll see this really easy description of what you can claim and deduct. And I feel like these little help boxes aren't super text heavy either. They make it really easy, dumb it down into layman's terms, which is helpful for somebody who doesn't have an accounting or tax background. This makes filing a cinch with H&R Block. And then if you have any of these tax credits, you can also add them here. Oh, and it looks like you can add other credits later. I'll go ahead and click next. And then they've broken it down into different sections. It looks like these drop-down arrows will help you determine whether or not you would qualify for any of these credits. And then click yes. And then we'll do a wrap up of our federal taxes. If you ever need to go back to a section, you can click on these little menu icons to go back and either add things, change things, and then go back to the wrap up. Okay, so they just did the accuracy review. It looks like I still need that one form that the IRS hasn't released yet, but once it's released, we can go back and fix that issue. And then they'll try to upsell us here with the H&R Block Plus or the free version. And it says that they can store your return up to 6 years, do an import, all of that for just $11. But I don't think I need to do that because I could simply just store that information on an external hard drive. So I'm going to go ahead and click no for now. Okay, then if you have a head start on your returns, your state returns won't be available until sometime in January, and then they'll notify you once that's ready so that you can go ahead and file your state return. Okay, so since the state return isn't ready just yet, that's okay. You can just go back in January and then all of your federal information will be copied over to your state return. So I don't anticipate really doing a whole lot more inside of H&R Block other than reviewing the information and then submitting both the federal and the state return at the same time. So if you ever need to go back, you can click on this overview tab and it'll take you back to this screen to show you exactly where you last left off. So really easy to use and simple to file your tax return with H&R Block. If you are considering H&R Block Online to file your 2019 taxes in 2020, this definitely has to be on your short list. I mean, it's one of the big players in the tax software industry. The interface and the navigation is really easy to use, and you'll be able to walk through self-guided navigation fairly quickly. Also, if you have some of those options I mentioned earlier with a W-2 student loan interest, you could potentially file your federal and state returns for free. So that's amazing. For more information on tax reviews, be sure to visit thecollegeinvestor.com.